Good evening all. I'm Dr. Chaitali Nikam, heading Infectious Diseases section at ThyroCare. Welcoming all the participants to the series of webinar conducting in collaboration with Haystack IIT Mumbai. So today's topic for our webinar is how whole genome sequencing is enabling personalized treatment in tuberculosis along with the case studies. So some of the biggest challenges in drug-resistant tuberculosis treatment are low compliances, high defaulting rates, and physicians are not able to give right drugs because of delayed and incomplete diagnosis. The programmatic management of drug-resistant TB, in line with a global recommendation, has introduced several regimens, including newer drugs, for drug-resistant TB. However, personalized treatment or apt regimen will be effective only and only when the drug susceptibility profile is known across all the group of the drugs in TB management. In the current webinar, Dr. Darit Shah will be discussing the various regimens of DRTB and also presenting the case studies how whole genome sequencing is enabling personalized treatment. I welcome Dr. Darit Shah, who is interventional pulmonologist and chest physician at Pramukh and Radiance Multispeciality Hospital, Ahmedabad. After presentation, participants can raise the queries either by putting in chat box, by raising their hands, or directly can unmute themselves and can raise the queries or the questions. Also, I request all the participants or the attendees to rename them along with their numbers, along with their names, not with the numbers. For example, in the attended list, there is a 7A is some number which is flagging. I request you to rename yourself. Over to you, Dr. Darit. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chaitanya. Good evening to all of you. Here I am, Dr. Darit Shah. I have completed my MD as a respiratory medicine from LG Hospital, Ahmedabad. And since maybe 1.5 years, I am practicing in Ahmedabad in different hospitals. Nowadays, I am attached with Pramukh Hospital, Radiance Hospital, and Dhapkar Super Specialty Clinic. My main motto is to treat lung patients very specifically, and I have very much interested in interventional pulmonologist also. So I think we can start with today's presentation. Let me share my screen. So today we are discussing how whole genome sequencing is enabling personalized treatment in tuberculosis. As you all know that we have different type of investigation for the diagnosis of tuberculosis. But nowadays we are upcoming with the new report, with the new investigation, which name is whole genome sequencing. So you all know that tuberculosis have iceberg phenomenon. In each and every disease, we can see that iceberg phenomenon. But for tuberculosis, it is specifically for multi-drug resistant TB that India accounts for highest TB incidence in the world, affecting 2.64 million Indians in 2019 and killing nearly 4.5 lakh people annually. We can see that day by day, year by year, the MDR TB prevalence is increasing, and the incidence is also increasing. By 2040, the proportion may be 12.4% for MDR TB, and for XDR TB it is 8.9%. So, what the fault part from our side, from doctor side, TB treatment is specific for specific patient. So there are suboptimal treatment, poor prescription practice, patient non-adherence to the treatment, and some of the doctor combine different drugs to the TB drugs. So it may convert to drug-resistant TB after time. So we can prevent that with this specific treatment regimen to the specific patient. So NTEP, you all know that the National TB Elimination Program, the India have converted from RNTCP to NTEP, but NTEP also miss 10% of drug sensitive TB and 50% of resistant cases, which is mentioned in India TB report 2020. So this is a huge number. So this is the slide which represents that there are lots of drugs other than the sensitive tuberculosis. For drug-resistant TB, there are 15 to 20 different drugs which we are using to treat the tuberculosis. So we primarily want that it is sensitive drug or not. So for that we are using Sevinap, even LPA with culture DSP, and now we are going to represent the whole genome sequencing to get each and every drug sensitivity report. So this is the current treatment regimen. You all know that if patient's sputum is positive, and from Sevinap, if your MTB detect and rifampicin sensitive, we are giving the drug sensitive treatment to the patient. But for resistant tuberculosis, we have different three regimens. First one is H-mono or poly-DRTB regimen. Previously, we are also using shorter regimen, but nowadays we are shifting shorter regimen patient to shorter all oral bedaquiline regimen. And there is a longer regimen, which called all oral longer bedaquiline regimen. So mainly there are three different regimens for drug-resistant tuberculosis. So firstly, we can discuss about the isoniazid H-mono regimen. So if your patient is getting rifampicin resistance, isoniazid resistant on LPA, we can start the H-mono regimen with the help of rifampicin, ethambutol, pyrazinamide plus levofloxacin, which is fluoroquinolone. So the regimen is like, you can see the pointer, that 6 to 9 months of levofloxacin and with the help of RAZ. So this is the H-mono regimen. So we have to investigate 4 major drugs, whether they are sensitive or not. Then second regimen is shorter oral bedaquiline containing regimen. So this is the new, which is just implemented in the NTEP within last 4 to 5 months only. And it belongs from 9 months to 11 months. 4 to 6 months, we have to use bedaquiline with levofloxacin, clofazimine, pyrazinamide, ethambutol, isoniazid high dose, and ethionamide. And after completion of 4 to 6 months, we can shift patient to a CP phase with the help of levofloxacin, clofazimide, pyrazinamide, and ethambutol. So we have to get the sensitivity report of each and every drug to start shorter oral bedaquiline regimen. Same thing with the all oral longer. In all oral longer, we are using bedaquiline, levofloxacin, linezolid, clofazimine, and cyclosporine for 18 to 20 months. So for that also we have to get the sensitivity report. So my main point is there are lots of many drugs which we are using to treat a drug-resistant tuberculosis patient. So before starting treatment, if we can get the report of sensitivity report, it is very much useful for patient and doctor also, that we can give the precise treatment to the specific patient. And nowadays there is another regimen which was investigated by NICS TB trial. It is BPAL regimen. It is just of 6 to 9 months with the help of pretomanid, bedaquiline, and linezolid. So we have to investigate these 3 molecules also, whether it is sensitive or not. So as we all are attached, if you are a chest physician, we all know that we are specifically attached with the NTEP program. and we have rights to investigate person in a step-by-step manner. So starting from getting a sputum AFP report, if it is sputum positive plus grade 2, we are sending a sputum to CBNAT. If it is rifampicin sensitive, we are giving the treatment. If it is rifampicin resistance, we are sending LPA report, first line LPA. Same thing from first line to second line LPA, and finally culture DS2 report. So you can see in this slide that it will take minimum 60 days to get each and every drug, whether it is sensitive or not. So it is very much time consuming investigation. So the mean duration of treatment initiation in the TB care takes an average of 65 days for a new patient or a retreatment cases. So to shorten this time duration, the whole genome sequencing will help each and every doctor that he or she get the report of sensitivity within a few days. So let me introduce what is whole genome sequencing. So this is the whole genome sequencing primary information. That whole genome sequencing is the analysis of the entire genomic DNA sequence of a cell in a single time. So in the diagram, you can see that from the sample collection, if sample has 100 nanogram of DNA, it will directly goes to the DNA extraction. But if there is no specific DNA or lesser number of DNA in the sputum, we can enrich the culture. So it will take time. But if your specimen has 100 nanogram of DNA, that second thing is DNA extraction. Third point is pre-sequencing preparation. Fourth point is sequencing. Fifth, which is done by computer, it is data analysis, and you will get the report. So it is a very easy and like in a proper manner investigation. So we can do that also. So how we can like engage whole genome sequencing with TB? So ThyroCare has started TGS, tuberculosis genome sequencing. So it is the same process. First one is sample collection, culture, sequencing, data file, computerized analysis, and you can get the report, which is mentioned on the below of the image, that rifampicin is sensitive and isoniazid is rifampicin is resistant and isoniazid is sensitive. So what are the advantages of WGS with TB? So WGS is also WHO approved method to investigation of the TB, Mycobacterium tuberculosis complex. It is basically of barcode DNA multiple bacteria combination. Then we can investigate other than TB bacteria also. So if your patient is having comorbidity with TB, you can get the report of different bacteria also. That your patient is having TB with maybe staphylococcus infection or MRSA infection or anything else. So this is the advantage of WGS. Third point is they can detect a single nucleotide variant, whether it is insertion, deletion, copy number of structure or large structural variation. So you can get the report of very different type of genes. And the main important part is WGS need just 100 nanogram of DNA particle in the sample. So if your sample is paucibacillary in nature, we can also get the report from that specimen. I think for gene expert, it is 13 to 100 bacilli in this sample is required. So same, like your next question is, how many days is required by WGS? So this is the flow chart that WGS just required 12 days. If your specimen is having 100 nanogram of DNA, they will give you report within 12 days only. So if you have collected a sample of sputum and send it for CBNAT, it will take either 2 hours. Or some laboratories are taking 2 days time in the government setup to send a report of CBNAT. And if you are sending a report of directly whole genome sequencing, you can get each and every drug susceptibility within 12 days only. So complete DST report, mixed infectious and heteroresistance, individualized treatment, and rapid result, which is the main advantage of TGS, which is WGS. So next part is which are drug which is investigated by WGS. So you all know that CBNAT is having just a rifampicin sensitivity. First line LPA, rifampicin and isoniazid. Second line LPA, fluoroquinolone and SLID. Second line injectable. And if you are doing culture with DST, then you can get each and every drug susceptibility. But to overcome that investigation part, WGS has each and every available drug which are using to treat tuberculosis. You can get the report. Till pretomamine. It is also, you can also get the sensitivity report of pretomamine also. So just a minute, it will take 18 different antibiotics. Test time is only 12 days. It is 99.8% specific and 85 to 98% sensitive, which is a huge number. It can also identify mixed infection and co-infection also. So these are the genomic type that you all know that isoniazid have INHA and CATG resistance. So you can get that genes also, that whether it is INHA resistance or CATG resistance, or for the moxifloxacin it is GYRA or GYRB. So this is also an advantage part of WGS, that for each and every drug you can get the report of genes also. So this is the basic, just a little touch to what are the treatment strategy available for tuberculosis and what is the advantage of WGS over other investigation. So let us discuss different kind of case studies. So this is the first case. A 27-year-old female presented with cough with expectoration, fever, anorexia since maybe 1 month. After different examination and investigation, her sputum AFB, gram Zn report is grade +2. So it is Mycobacterium TB infection. And sputum gene expertise, MTB detected and rifampicin sensitive. But with the same time, we have also sent the report to WGS and see what is the report. It is the same as gene expert. But what is the advantage of this report? On the left side, you can see the different names of the drugs. And on the right side image with the green round, you can see the sensitivity report. So there is no red mark. So it represents that each and every drug for this patient is sensitive for his or for her tuberculosis infection. So we all know that for the sensitive report, we have to just start a drug sensitivity, which is HRZE for 2 months, followed by HRE for next 4 months. So see, we have started treatment and patient is improving. And the gene expert report is given by 2 hours only, and the WGS report duration time is 10 days only. So second case. So this is a 43-year-old male represented with cough with expectoration, fever, anorexia since 3 months. Same, his sputum is plus grade 3 positive. Sputum gene expert report is represented as NTB detected and rifampicin sensitive. As a protocol, I have sent the report for gene expert and WGS also. And see, this is same. Each and every drug is sensitive for his tuberculosis bacilli. But in this, we get the report of Duration time is 12 days. And treatment is same, drug-sensitive tuberculosis treatment. So these are two different examples. One is 10 days report and second one is 12 days report of WGS. Third one is very interesting case. So this is the 63-year-old male diabetic patient represented with dry cough. Sorry, wait a minute. Yes, same. 63-year-old male diabetic patient presented with dry cough, fever, and weight loss since 2 months. His sputum AFP report is negative, but on the radiological part, there are lots of lower zone consolidation with cavity presented in his X-ray and CT scan also. So I have directed the patient to sputum gene expert, and the report is Mycobacterium TB detected and rifampicin sensitive. Here is the trap. So as per the protocol, we have sent the patient sputum to LPA also, and we get that rifampicin and isoniazid both are resistant. But duration time to get the LPA report is 30 days. But with the help of WGS, you can see that on the left side, 5 different drugs named rifampicin, isoniazid, ethambutol, pyrazinamide, and also streptomycin, which are not using nowadays injectable streptomycin, but each and every drug is resistant. So first, with the report of gene expert, we have started. Gene expert report is TB detected and rifampicin resistant. So we have directed patient to shorter oral bedaquiline regimen. But after getting a WGS report, because WGS report is taking time off for this patient is 28 days only, because in his sputum, they have to cultivate, like culture was done before the WGS was done. So it will take time to grow the bacilli. So plus culture time plus WGS. So cumulative, it will take 28 days. And we can get the report of HRZES. Each and every drug is registered. So after the end of 28th day, we have directed patient to all oral longer. So you can see that 28 days and 30 days. So 2 days gap. Just an early start with the WGS report. In the next patient, it is the same like the previous one. 19-year-old male patient, a known case of chronic kidney disease, presented with dry cough, fever, anorexia, since 15 days. Sputum AFP is negative. Gene expert is suggestive of NTB not detected. But with the radiological evidence and bronchoscopy, we have sent the BAL gene expert with bronchoalveolar lavage, and we can get the report of NTB detected with rifampicin resistance. So here is the trap is with the WGS. We have directed BAL to gene expert and BAL to WGS. So here is the report. Rifampicin, isoniazid, ethambutol, and streptomycin with moxifloxacin, ofloxacin, moxifloxacin, and getafloxacin. Each and every drug of FQ which are using in the TB treatment is resistant. So only pyrazinamide and rest of the drugs are sensitive, which is mentioned in the circle that red part is resistance and green part is sensitive. So we can modify his treatment with, and the plus point is we can get the report within 18 days only. If you are doing culture DST, it will take time, maybe 45 days. So as per the protocol, with the resistance report, I have started the treatment as an all oral longer. Next case. Yes, a 33-year-old male patient with the chief complaint of cough, with expectoration, anorexia, and weight loss since 3 months. His sputum is +3. Gene expert is suggestive of Mycobacterium TB detected with rifampicin sensitive. So here is the WGS report, and it is showing that moxifloxacin resistance. So I think we all see the patient that either GP level or MD level, or few other pulmonologists also adding levofloxacin to the non-responder. If your HRZES, each and every one is sensitive, but as per the history and as per the previous clinical approach, we are empirically adding FQ to few of the patient, but this is the trap that the patient is completely drug sensitive tuberculosis, but his moxifloxacin group FQ is registered. Getafloxacin, ofloxacin, and moxifloxacin. So there is no change in treatment. The treatment, the investigation duration time is only 10 days of WGS, and the treatment is drug sensitive TB because there is no resistance of HRZ. So there is no need to change your regimen. Next one is very interesting. A 27-year-old female patient, she is suffering from pulmonary TB with maybe post-TB bronchiectasis changes. And she is on treatment for pulmonary TB since 5 months. And the positive report with the positive report of sputum AFP +2 before 5 months. So some general practitioners have started the treatment of drug-sensitive tuberculosis. As I have previously mentioned that few of the doctors will start levofloxacin to the patient if he or she can't see the radiological changes or the clinical improvement is not there. So same in this patient, the doctor has started drug-sensitive TB treatment with levofloxacin after 2 months of radiological not improvement in the patient. She had also history of childhood tuberculosis, but with the 5 months of treatment, when she is presenting to me, there is no symptom improvement since 5 months. Cough with expectoration, hemoptysis, and fever is same as it is. And in the history part, I have seen that within the last 1 year, total 3 different gene expert was done, and each and every one is Mycobacterium TB not detected. One doctor have also investigated for sputum culture, and the report was NTB detected, and each and every drug is sensitive. Her fungal culture was also done, which was no growth in the fungal culture. So I have done the WGS report to this patient, and see the report is the sample has significant bacterial DNA. So this is the confirm that patient is having Mycobacterium TB infection. The second line is Mycobacterium TB resistance is detected with incomplete DST because rifampicin resistance was detected low. So you also know that in the gene expert report, few of the report are with same mention at Mycobacterium TB low detection and rifampicin indeterminate. This is the same as a gene expert report. In the bold line, you can see that failed the quality control of genome sequence in the analysis. And second part is multiple other organisms are also detected. And they are aerobic gram-negative bacteria of Campylobacteria, possibly nosocomial origin, have been found. So this is the trend that patient might be having drug-resistant tuberculosis, But as per the history, she is on levofloxacin since 3 to 4 months. I have started directly patient to all over longer, and within the 15 to 20 days, each and every symptoms are gone. So WGS will help you in this side also. And for gram-negative bacteria, I have sent the patient for sputum CS, and we can get the report of all gram-negative bacilli, and we have started the treatment as per the sensitivity from sputum CS. So it may possible that patient is having pulmonary TB with secondary bacterial infection in the bronchiectasis. So next one is, we have just started sending extra pulmonary specimen, and I just get one report only. So this is the history: a 22-year-old male with the recurrent right cervical plus bilateral axillary plus inguinal lymphadenopathy, and he's on treatment of TB drug since 1 year as an empirical, because there is no confirmed report of tuberculosis. The treatment started by a physician with the evidence of sonography. FNAC was done, but it was inconclusive before a year. Then I have done a help of ENT lymph node excision from the axillary part, and send the whole lymph node to the cytology and to the WGS. So specifically, this is the interesting part, that cytology suggests of lymphoma. It is not a tuberculosis. It is Hodgkin's lymphoma. And see, the conclusion is there that WGS sending this report that specimen is a lymph node. There is no AFB and no growth of Mycobacterium species after 6 weeks of incubation. So this is the same, like WGS is saying there is no TB. Cytology is saying there is a confirmed Hodgkin lymphoma. So we can compare both the reports. So now your main question is why you are promoting WGS. So this is the answer. That TGS, which is tuberculosis genomic sequencing. Second one is culture DST. Third one is Sabina. And fourth one is LPA. So how many drugs are coverage by different investigations? So WGS is taking a coverage of 18 antibiotics. Culture DST is taking only 13 to 15 antibiotics. Sabina is only giving you a report of rifampicin. And LPA, I have mentioned, there are 4 different drugs. The turnover time, it is only 12 days only in WGS. If you are doing culture DST, you can get the report within 2 to 8 weeks. In Sabina, it will take only 2 hours. This is mentioned, it is wrong. It is only 2 hours. And in LPA, it is only take time of 3 to 4 days. We can compare cost-wise also. The WGS is having, the main part is, if you are doing WGS by Thyrocare, then it is 3 to 5,000. But the main cost of WGS is 15,000. Same as a DST. Sabina is having only 2,000 and LPA is 4,000. So if you are approaching a patient from Sabina 2,000, then LPA 4,000, then culture DST 15,000. So the cumulative amount is higher than the WGS. And with the help of Thyrocare, we can just get a report within 3 to 5,000 only. And main advantage, the strain of identification of mixed infection, you can get that report also. So from India, we all know that it is maybe 2025 that National TB Elimination Program, which is started, TB Harega Desh Jitega, and Pradhan Mantri have started the campaign of TB Mukt Bharat. But I think it is very much difficult for each and everyone. So these are my take-home messages, that the TGS is a single test to give a complete genomic analysis of Mycobacterium TB based on WGS. It gives simple and precise result with the advantage of rapid turnover time, which is only 12 days. And you can start treatment to the patient in a specific manner, like patient-based approach. So it is helpful. And thank you so much, each and everyone, for listening me maybe last half an hour. So now we can start the question answer session.
So thank you, Dr. Darit, for such insightful presentation and such a knowledgeable stuffs, basically, right from technology to lots of interesting cases. And basically, I'm having the first question for you. So this is
can I get a 1 minute to just receive a call because it is from ICU?
Sure.
Just a minute. Yes, thank you. So there are 8 different questions, maybe.
Yeah, questions are ready. So we'll go one by one. So there's a question from Sanjina Khatun. She's asking about after complete treatment of tuberculosis, it can be again grow inside human being. So
after complete treatment of tuberculosis, it can, yes, it is a reinfection or maybe like reactivation of previous TB. If you didn't completed your treatment properly, so it may reactivate or you can get an infection of reinfection. So it may possible that patient is having TB before 3 years and at the end of 5 years, she or he is getting again tuberculosis. So it may possible.
Then next question is from Pavan Dakne. He want to ask, I have a question, could you use fast therapy for TB as there is an increase in antimicrobial resistance, and does fast therapy play a crucial role in TB? Please, anyone could give an opinion on this question.
The phase therapy is just a trial-based therapy, I think. That in my career, I didn't see a single patient to start the phase therapy. But I think this is upcoming advantage as a phase therapy. So the treatment part is more and your patient will get the proper treatment. So it is just a upcoming therapy with the help of phase therapy. But yes, till the time I didn't start it anymore.
Yeah. So Pavan, I would like to add what Dr. Darit is saying. I'm absolutely agree with Dr. Darit. So basically, fast therapy is nothing but the synergic effect of the antimicrobial which has been used for the treatment of any disease along with the fast therapy. So fast therapy cannot be given, as a whole and sole remedy for a regime to treat the patient for any of the disease. So it is upcoming thing and lots of standardization and lots of, case studies or clinical trials may require for this. But yes, fast therapy is coming up, but definitely it required basic regimen along with the fast therapy. So fast therapy cannot use as a, substantially only to treat any disease or infection like TB. So next question is from Arvind Kumar. Why culture? Why not sequencing directly from a clinical specimens? So
it is not a compulsion that you have to send a culture or you have to send a WGS. With the culture, it is time consuming, and with the WGS, it is time saving. So it is up to you what you have to send, and you can get the 3 more antibiotic report with secondary bacterial infection report. So I think WGS is more upcoming investigation for tuberculosis. There is not a force for WGS to you, but I think like we have considered CBNAR and LPA for the tuberculosis investigation. So same WGS is upcoming tool to investigate a pulmonary or any of the organ tuberculosis.
So just adding a few statements to Dr. Dari's statements that we are culturing it as in we are concentrating. Basically, we need chunk of a DNA. So in so many samples, if smear status is absent or smear status is is scanty, in those cases it's difficult. It will get past QC for sequencing. So in that case, we again have to, go back to the sample and again culture it. So basically, we are trying to save our turnaround time by directly putting up into the culture and then giving it for the sequencing. So basically, there is lots of cost involved in if you build our QC, like extraction, then PCR, library preparation, QC check. So there is a cost involved, and to reduce the turnaround time, we are directly culturing it and enriching it. The sample and then going to the whole genome sequencing. Dr. Anirban, would you like to add something that we are directly going to a clinical sample after this, if you are there? Dr. Anirban? Dr. Anirban.
I think we can take the next question.
Just a minute, wait. Training team, can you just unmute Dr. Anirban? Okay, till that time we'll take a next question. This is from Manorama Dikshit. Is the data available for any cases on any website like NCBI?
Yes, there are lots of data. Like with the WGS, we are very much late to investigate TB with the help of WGS. But the whole genome sequencing, which is also called as NGS, which is already on demand to investigate different bacteria also. And WGS with TB, you can get many of the literature on the website or NCBI guideline or NCBI website. So it is valid. This is for India, it is late that we are thinking of WGS, but in the different countries, they have already started WGS. I think I am right, Dr. Chaitanya.
Yes. So I just would like to add few content to this. So there is already a WHO catalog which is out basically. So it gives us the data mutation wise, region wise, where we can upload the data if we are getting any innovative or any new mutations. So we can upload our data on that too. So it is, you can just get the information from online, which says about the WHO catalog which has been published recently. So you can go ahead and check it on the website. It is a very useful stuff. Next question is from
Janvi Shastri.
Yeah, it's from Janvi Shastri. And when is the WGS-based diagnosis recommended to the patient? At the preliminary level or after the first line of a treatment?
No. We have to investigate patient as a new patient only, because nowadays we are getting the patient, primary new patient are drug-resistant tuberculosis. So before the time, we are getting retreatment patient and sending to the CBNAT or LPA. But as per the guideline, now we are sending new patient, like first time tuberculosis patient we can send WGS directly, because if any of the drug is resistant, your patient will have a proper treatment. So it is not like you have to send a patient of second time or third time. You can send WGS at the first time also.
So it is very important to send this sample in the preliminary state, as per me also, because when patient is going for gene expert or line probe assay, so he's wasting around like say 1 week in just analyzing or gathering the information for first line or second line antibiotics. Again, if second line we cannot go if smear status is absent. So in that case, instead of wasting time and the cost, it would be beneficial to go directly to the whole genome sequencing in first go. Next is from Srijit, Dr. Srijit. So he's asking you, sir, what is your experience with extrapulmonary samples?
So we all know that extrapulmonary specimen is mainly having porcibacillary in nature. So I think before 4 to 6 months, I didn't started to send the WGS report of extrapulmonary specimen, but since maybe 1 to 1.5 months, I have sending the extrapulmonary specimen and getting the report of that specimen day by day. But none of the specimen is having a positive report. So I think it may improve with the recurrent time, and more number of samples I think required for comment this question. So with the help of you, I think after this session, I think number of doctors from India will send the WGS report to the ThyroCare. So yes, I think after 1 month or maybe 2 months, we can answer that whether WGS is helping extrapulmonary specimen or not.
So just to add from laboratory in, generally extrapulmonary samples are smear status absent. So it's basically takes time to grow, and unless and until samples grow, we cannot send it for a whole genome sequencing. So here is a turnaround time involved. So when it comes to extrapulmonary samples, the turnaround time is getting much more as compared to the pulmonary samples. This is for you from Dr. Suresh Kumar Mishra. Can post-tubercle treatment cause metastasis to the other body organs?
It is not like post-tubercular treatment. If your patient is having reinfection or reactivation, then and then it may be possible that he or she get metastasis of tuberculosis bacilli to another organ. So I think this is a case of retreatment or reactivation or reinfection. But with the treatment, I think no, there is no mets with the other body part.
So this is from Sanjina Khatun. What is more dangerous, lung TB or spinal TB?
I think it is not commentable, because how many different zones involved in TB, in the pulmonary tuberculosis, and which part of spinal cord is infected. So if we are getting a proper report, then and then I can say to this question. But yes, I can add one thing, that if your patient is having spinal cord TB, only spinal cord TB, just don't take it that patient as a contagious, because it is a non-contagious pulmonary TB tuberculosis. But yes, if your patient is having lung tuberculosis, it is definitely cause a contagious to another patient or another relative. So this is extrapulmonary specimen, spinal cord. So it is safer for other patient or other relative or nearby person. But if your patient is having lung tuberculosis, it is more dangerous to the surrounding people. So this is that.
So this is request to participants that they're putting the question in chat box and getting ignored. So what I can do is I'm just finishing the question in question and answer chat box first, as guided first. And later on, I'll come to the chat box to answer your questions. So please hold on for some time. Next question is from Dr. Jatin Ahuja. Being practicing in private, we are not authorized to start bedaquiline. Can a physician in private practice in Gujarat has the access to make a oral regimen, MDR or XDR TB with bedaquiline?
No. This is the same protocol all over India. We don't have right to start a bedaquiline regimen, but yes, with the help of G or with the help of attachment with the government hospital, you can start a bedaquiline regimen. So this is same for you and me. There is no difference between Gujarat and another part of the India. You have to start bedaquiline regimen with the help of government only.
So next is from Dr. Ram Kishore Pandey. Is genome sequencing test easily available and what is the cost? So
ThyroCare will answer it properly.
So genome sequencing was not easily available before, but now ThyroCare with Haystack has started the initiative and we are introduced the test that is a TGS, that is a TB genome sequencing. And the cost for the test is around 6,000 rupees. And you can just go online and fill the send the sample, and we can give you the result. So it is easily accessible to all the clinicians and patients. So these are the messages from chat. Question and answer.
Yes, there is no another question.
Chat box. There are a few questions which are pending from chat box. What is the percent of positive reports apart from sputum sample or for extrapulmonary samples? So, generally, all extrapulmonary samples which comes as a smear status absent, and it's as we all know that it's difficult to grow, but still we are trying. Besides midget, we are trying to grow it in the line LJ also. So, and the percentage is pretty less as compared to sputum sample. So as Dr. Darit has mentioned earlier that, clinicians are not sending much samples, extrapulmonary sample for analysis. So we are not having exact percentage of it, but yes, it is a pretty low.
I think one of the doctors have right that what is BAL? BAL is a bronchoalveolar lavage. With the help of bronchoscopy, you can get the sample of from inside the trachea and bronchi to the secondary alveolar section, and it is BAL. So if your patient is not giving the sample or if it is a dry cough, so for that you have to do the bronchoscopy, and the name of that specimen is BAL, bronchoalveolar lavage. So in the previous slide, I have mentioned that BAL gene expert, which is bronchoalveolar lavage gene expert. And you can also send the BAL to WGS also.
So there is a question from Mohammed. My question is that how many days preserve sputum sample and need cold chain? So if you have collected the sample, I would like to request you to send it to the laboratory as soon as possible, because even though if you are, and also cold chain is required, because see, all these techniques and the technologies which are used are very niche technologies, and it requires good amount of a sample, good quality sample to get the good quality DNA to perform the test. And that's the reason it's really important to send a sample on timely basis and as in appropriate manner in the laboratory.
I think there are lots of questions in chat box.
Yeah.
Like second question is, what sample should we prefer for port spine when no other site is involved? For port spine, you can send the pus. The orthopedic will take care how to take the sample from port spine. So from port spine, you can send the pus sample to any of the investigation, CBNAT, LPA, culture, or WGS.
So there is a question from Dr. Ram Kishore. What is the expenditure for TGS? And it is available across India. Yes, we are collecting the sample across India. And expenditure as discussed by Dr. Darit and me in my previous question.
Second question is, what kind of sample gives more specific and accurate result, BAL or sputum? It is always a BAL, because sputum, you don't know whether which part of the lung has expectorate that. So from right, if your patient is having a right middle lobe infection and the sputum is coming from left lower zone, you won't get any report. But with the help of bronchoscopy, you can get the report of from right middle zone, right middle lobe. So it is helpful that you can send the report of BAL, which is specific.
So there is one question from the participant who says that I'm also a patient of this disease. So I have a question that in the future the disease is raising or not. Might be she's asking about reinfections. So that has been already covered. So I think
we can share our email or maybe contact number to the each and everyone who have registered in this seminar. So if they have any of the doubt, we can directly talk to them, and it is helpful maybe because there are lots of questions in the chat box.
Yes, so the chat box is filled with a question. So I guess if I'm not wrong, Dr. Darit, there are two more and then I think we are finished with. So one is like, how can one distinguish lung cancer and TB while diagnosis?
Just repeat.
How can one distinguish lung cancer and TB while diagnosis?
I think this is this side topic. Tuberculosis is the bacterial pneumonia, and your cancer is MAS. So you can differentiate it with the help of contrast CT scan, and for the diagnosis, you have to do a CT guided biopsy or bronchoscopy to get the sample from that MAS. So this is the total different entity. So CT scan will help. My first answer to this question is CT scan, contrast CT scan.
Next is, if a patient has more than 200 total IgE, what is the precaution? Myself, from Vishal Kumar Madhesia from UP. So he's asking about if a patient has...
So I think UP have lots of patients with the eosinophilia. So for that, you have to investigate each and everything which is covered under the name of eosinophilia, either maybe tropical eosinophilia or the Church-Strauss syndrome, or maybe it is allergic bronchitis. So this is the different topic than the what we are discussing. But main answer is you have to investigate properly for tropical eosinophilia.
So I guess we have finished with Q&A from chat box also.
Yes, then I think, sorry if you are sending the question before the time, but we can't answer each and everyone. But I think ThyroCare team will send you an email, my contact number, even my email ID, that Dr. Chaitali madam also contact number or email ID, then you can send your question or anything to that and we'll answer sure.
Yes, surely. So, thank you very much, Dr. Darit. I'm not taking questions. So thank you all panelists, participants for making this session more interactive. And as Dr. Darit has explained, and also from our team, we'll touch base you. You'll get the email addresses and phone number. You can put your questions if you have any besides this. And I'm concluding the session now.
Yes, from my side also, thank you so much, Dr. Chaitali, Dr. Aparna, and the whole ThyroCare team that we have started WGS from Gujarat, mainly from Ahmedabad, after the proper knowledge. And yes, we are basically happy with the WGS that our patients are improving within few days, because we can get the report of proper sensitivity within few days only. So if you are starting treatment within proper days and proper sensitive drug, your patient definitely will improve, and this is happy for me and for patient also. So I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shah. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.